Hello everyone, this side Sachin from Shiksha Anusthan. In this video, we will be learning about GST. So before starting with GST, let us understand what is tax. Every government or central or state government needs money for the administrative purposes, for welfare development, roads, salary to employees, etc. Governments collect this revenue by levying tax on the respective territories, on the respective fields, through two processes, that's direct tax or indirect tax. Direct tax are those that are levied on the income of the individuals. Direct tax are those that are levied on the income of the individuals, whereas indirect tax are those that are paid by the consumers or the organizations when they consume a product, when they buy a product. Uh, GST comes here. GST is an indirect tax. Then, how to compute a tax? What are some important factors that we need to consider while computing? So, taxes are computed on the cost of purchases of goods or services, or both, at a particular percentage pronounced by the government. When government pronounces, government assigns some particular GST slabs on the basis of which the taxes are computed for the particular product. So, in order to calculate taxes, we need to know some important terms. First is the dealer. The dealer is a person who buys goods or services for resale. Consumer buys for consuming the product, where dealer buys to resell. You can say dealer might be a customer, dealer might be a buyer, but dealer might not be a consumer. In some cases, the dealer is also the consumer, but that is known as consumer. Then cost price. Cost price, it is a price at which a trader buys goods, and the cost price is also termed basic price. Cost price also termed as basic price. Then list price. It is a price at which the article is marked. Suppose the shopkeeper buys the article at 100 rupees CP, and he marks and raises the price of the article to 20 rupees, 120 rupees, and this is called the mark price or the list price. He raises it by 20%. So, and this is done in the motive to earn profit, because if he offers discount on the MP, suppose 10% discount on the MP, still he will be earning a profit over the CP. Then discount. What is discount? Discount is an offer. Is an offer that is given by the seller to seller some old stocks, or some for some other reasons, to increase the sales. And this is calculated on the list price or the mark price, if there is so. Then selling price. Selling price, what is selling? Selling price is a price at which the trader sells his goods and services with discount, if any. If they discount, then the discount is subtracted from the list price. That is equal to selling price. Or if there is no discount, then the list price is itself the selling. Now let us consider some examples. Dinesh buys a chair marked at 5,000 rupees at a discount of 20% on the marked price. The rate of the tax being 80%. Calculate tax Dinesh has to pay for this purchase. Also find total amount to be paid by the Dinesh. So first we need to calculate the discount, or the discounted price. We know that mark price is 5,000, discount is 20%, and tax is 18%. This is the data given in the question. Discounted price is mark price minus discount. So mark price is 5,000 minus 20% of 5,000, that is equal to 5,000 minus 1,000, it is 4,000. This is the discounted price. Now, the rate of tax, tax is what is tax? Tax is the rate of tax, 18% of tax into the discounted value or the selling price. Now that comes at 720. So the total amount Dinesh needs to pay is 4,000 plus 720, that is 4,720. So the tax is calculated on the selling price, that is mark price minus discount, if any, and tax is equal to rate of tax into selling price, and tax is added to the selling price to get the final bill amount. We pay the tax on our consumption. We do not pay the tax including selling price. We pay a tax on consumption. But in case of MRP, that is different. MRP, if it is written inclusive of all taxes, then it is included, and we need to pay only the MRP. And if it is written there is exclusive of taxes, then the tax will be added after all. So that in that case we need to pay the taxes. Then come to second example. The listed price of an air conditioner is 40,000, and the shopkeeper gives a discount of 15% on the list price, and the tax rate for it is 28%. Calculate tax charge. The same. It is the same process. Now let's understand about GST. Prior to 1st July 2017, we had number of indirect taxes like VAT, excise, service tax. But after the 1st July 2017, the government of India abolished all such taxes and introduced a new tax called GST, Goods and Service Tax. And it is this tax is based on the policy of the government or the aim of the government of one nation, one tax. This reduces the complexity of state taxes and central taxes. This reduces tax evasion and it brings a buoyancy to the government by widening the tax base. And it also removes disparity of taxes in different states. If, whichever state you go, if you buy the product, it is the same cost. That is one of the main motive of the government to initiate this GST. GST is based on consumption. It is a consumption-based tax which is levied when one buys or transfers goods and services or both. GST is levied at every point of sale or transfer. That is, it is added to it is computed from the selling price. The GST has replaced all former taxes and GST is applicable throughout the country. GST, then knowing more about GST is a destination based consumption tax. Hence, the place of consumption decides who will collect the tax, state government or central government or both the governments. If, like I said, if it is between two states, if it is, we all know that if it is between two states, then the central government is what initiates and it will be IGST. If it's between a state, it is in between a state, then here central government and state government both will have some parts. Coming to GST, if these are two types, interstate and intra-state. Inter means within two states. Intra means within a state. Now, if it is within two states, then there will be IGST, and the CGST and SGST will be nil here. And in case of intra GST, here there will be only CGST and SGST, and the IGST will be nil here. But the GST percent would be same. How? If the GST percent is 18%, here the tax collected will be 18% of the total selling price, and here it will be 9% plus 9%. 9% for CGST, 9% for SGST. The tax will be divided into two parts, and then will be added up to the same amount. Like I said, that if the rate of GST is 18%, and if in case of intrastate movement, it will divide into two parts, 9%, and if in case of interstate, that will be the whole part. And at present, the rate of GSTs are 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, 20% as applicable. Every businessman pays GST on the purchases made by him and collects GST on the sales of his goods. Whichever businessman you may say, they pay GST on the purchases. Because if they're buying something from someone, that means that someone is selling the buyer a product, and that someone is collecting tax from the buyer, from the businessman, and so businessman pays on the purchases GST, and he collects GST on the sale of his goods. So the difference between GST collected on sale and the GST paid on purchase is deposited by him with the government. So how much tax does the businessman pay to the government? The GST, what is the GST paid by the businessman to the government? The GST paid by the businessman to the government is equal to the output tax, means how much he collected minus how much he had paid. That will be equal to the GST he paid. That is the GST he will pay to the government. And that GST can also be calculated on selling price minus purchase price or GST of profit. because the profit is the income of the businessman, and the businessman pays on his income. So the businessman pays GST on his income. That can also be a process to calculate the GST for particular businessman. But for manufacturer and for the consumer, it is they consume the manufacturer. There is no purchaser for a manufacturer. There is no seller for the consumer, so they need to pay the GST on the whole amount. Now let us understand by this example. Let an item be purchased of a trader X. A trader X purchases an item for 5,000 from manufacturer and sold it to consumer Y at the end user. End user means he will consume the product at a profit of 1,000. Rate of GST being 12%. So let us consider that X purchases item from manufacturer for 5,000, and the GST paid by X to the manufacturer. What is the GST the trader paid to the manufacturer? That is 12% of 5,000. That is 600. So the GST. Let us say this is manufacturer, this is trader, this is consumer. Manufacturer sells it to trader on 5,000 rupees. Trader then makes a profit and sells it to the consumer, whereas on a profit of 6,000. 1,000 rupees profit will be 6,000. Now trader purchases it from manufacturer for 5,000 plus tax plus GST. That becomes 5,000 plus 12% of 5,600. So he purchases at 5,600. Now trader sells the same item to consumer 6,000 at a profit of 1,000 rupees or 6,000, and he collects 12% tax. The consumer pays 12% tax extra, that is equal to 720. So that becomes 6,720. The 12% of 6,000 is 720. So now it is 6,720. So what is the tax paid by the trader? That is 600. Tax collected by the trader, that is 720. So the tax paid by the trader to the government is 720 minus 600 is 120. Because from the 720 he collected the tax some amount from the consumer because of for the tax he had paid, and only 120 rupees is paid by him. The alternative process is what is the profit? The profit made here is 1,000 rupees. So on 1,000 rupees, if you calculate the GST, 12% of 1,000, you get 120. So that directly will get the amount of the tax paid by the trader to the government. Now let us understand what is goods. We have understood all these things. Then let us clarify this by understanding the meaning of goods. Goods means every kind of movable thing or property. You can also say it as products. Anything which can be taken from one place to another. Goods does not include the money of securities, shares, stocks, bonds, because they cannot be taken from one form to another. Yes. Services. Services mean anything other than goods, money, securities, such as banking services, insurance services, teaching services, lawyer services, anything other than the goods, which does not include any physical transaction. It is where goods are tangible, where services are intangible in nature. Now, I have already covered this, but still let us understand the input tax credit. Input tax credit means that while paying tax on sale of goods and services, you avail the tax that have already paid on the purchases. Means that in the previous case, we understood that the trader paid 600 rupees as tax, and he collected 720 rupees. This means this 600 rupees that he paid on tax to the manufacturer, he collects that from the consumer वापस ले आया, collects that from the consumer, and the remaining amount, the extra amount article, that is what he will pay to the government. What he paid to the manufacturer, that he collects that. This is what input tax credit means. So it is simply calculated by output. The tax paid by the seller is, by the trader, is output tax minus input tax, or tax on SP minus tax on CP, or that you can calculate tax on SP minus CP, or tax on profit. Okay, that's all for this class. I hope you all understood, you clear through the GST concept. Do like and subscribe our channel for more upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.